Imagine there's a situation here. I'm viewing from this angle. I'm viewing from this angle, this angle, this angle. The World Cup is coming, right? A team has to be formed.
Yes.
I'm sure the decision makers, selection board would have gone through a lot of thinking around that. It's not easy.
AI coming into picture, the technology coming in. So people have to evolve with time. This was like an eye opener for me. So I'm going to I'm going to try this in situations where I'm stuck. Hey everyone, welcome back. You're watching Rhythm Revive, the real high. Here on this channel, we talk about holistic wellness, where well-being is not just subjected to your physical health, but also your mental and spiritual harmony. Touching every facet of your life, from personal to professional to social connections, we bring you authentic content from the best of professionals in various fields. Subscribe to our channel now and stay tuned for regular updates. Today's discussion centers around a crucial topic, that is decision making. If we make a right decision, it leads us to a happier and healthier life, while poor decisions can lead to a host of challenges, including stress and health issues. Joining us today is the distinguished guest, one of the most seasoned corporate life coaches in the field, Mr. Sudarshan. With a remarkable 27 years of experience in the corporate world, our guest has navigated the intricacies of IT consulting within renowned organizations like Cisco Systems, Dhani Loans and Services, and w.r.t Systems. We have covered a wide spectrum from taking critical choices between career and family to contemplating marriage to career transitions and entrepreneurship. And guess what? To take all the decisions related to these, we just need one formula. Yes, you heard that right. We have also explored the role of intuition in decision making, the significance of time and data in the process, and what to do if we have taken a wrong decision in our life. So, without further ado, let's embark on this enlightening journey. Feel free to adjust the playback speed to 1.5x or 2x to suit your preferences. Let's get started. So, welcome to the show, Sudarshan sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Sahitya.
It's a pleasure to have you in our show. And today we are discussing a very special topic, that is decision making. Now, for all the youngsters out there, for all the seniors out there, I think it's important for everybody, every individual, because we face such situations wherein we have to decide big things in life, isn't it?
Yes.
So, at that point of time, first of all, what is decision making to you, or how important is it in somebody's life? We all know somewhere or the other, decision making is something wherein we have to choose between two options.
Okay.
But if we can deep dive for the audience.
Sure, my pleasure. So, what is decision making? Like, let's look at that. See, life is full of choices. We make choice oftenly, every moment, pretty much. But some of those choices are easy to make. There is no much thing at stake. But there are some choices for which the consequence is long term, or consequence will be significant. That's where sometimes we get into a challenging situation. What do we do?
Right.
Yeah. And this compounds when we have multiple equally good choices or multiple not so good choices. Yeah. See, if there's only one choice in front of me, I will take it. Or sometimes I may not take it confidently or convincingly. Let's talk about that. In such situation also, what can we do?
Okay. Just
but
one
when
choice.
There are multiple, one choice. When there are multiple choice, definitely there is a need to make a decision, because life moves on. Life goes forward, doesn't go backward.
Right.
So we need to make a choice, own the choice. Before that, to make a choice, what can we do? That's where decision making becomes important.
And somewhere or the other, to move on, as you said, right, psychologically and each and every way, we have to take a decision. You don't have a choice.
Absolutely. See, there will be so many situations. Maybe I take an example. let's say there are two job offers I have, and which one to choose could be sometimes very challenging, because there are certain aspects look good in option A, and certain aspects look good in option B. Certain things not so good on option A, certain things not so good on option B.
Right.
How do we decide? Because see, ultimately a decision is subjective. So we can't make an objective choice among multiple options all the time.
When you say subjective and objective, if you can break it down for the audience.
Absolutely. See, whatever subjective is, let's say which is greater, 10 or 5, it's very clear.
Yeah.
There's an objective evaluation there. To make a choice between, in my next travel destination, should I go to Chennai or should I go to Hyderabad? Let's take an example.
Right.
Take an example, right? Which one to choose? There is no objective thinking here. I mean, there could be some factors favoring going to Chennai, some factors favoring going to Hyderabad, and some factors not so favoring going to Chennai, some factors not so favoring to go to Hyderabad.
So there are multiple layers.
Multiple aspects in decision making. That's when finally we make a subjective call. Okay, this suits me. This option I will choose.
These are the factors that helps me to choose.
Correct. Now, what I give example is a very simple example, but examples like, should I continue in my career or should I look at giving more importance to family?
Pretty much the question of all the females out there.
It could be sometimes very daunting. I have seen some of my clients in the coaching scenario come with exactly this situation. Are they not capable? They are capable people. They are very capable people. But decision like this can be sometimes very hard for them, because career is also important, family is also important, right? Which one to weigh more? It could be hard for them decision. Now, that's where the decision making becomes prominent. Now, again, the decision is subjective here. Should I take option A or option B will become subjective. But before that, can we make some more evaluation or lot more evaluation, so that I make an informed choice. I make an informed decision.
What do you mean by informed?
So informed is I have details for me to make a choice. It's again how I see myself. Right? After making a choice, if I feel yes, I'm convinced, I'm making this choice with full conviction, right? That means the person has done probably more preparation, more homework or groundwork to come to that choice making.
It's just like it feels like a warm-up match before the main match, and you can decide a lot of factors. Somewhere or other, okay, we have to choose this.
Correct.
And then we have to go in the field with confidence, maybe.
Correct. So it's very well said. See, now the World Cup is coming, right? A team has to be formed.
Yes.
I'm sure the decision makers, selection board would have gone through a lot of thinking around that. It's not easy. There's so many factors to consider here.
True.
Now, can we make more objective thinking, objective evaluations before we make a subjective decision? That is with us.
Okay, an approach that can help in decision making.
Absolutely. So that's what.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So this tool is called Cartesian questions. Cartesian questions.
Okay.
René Descartes, he is a French philosopher, mathematician, scientist. He is a person who brought in the concept of 4 quadrants with x-axis, y-axis.
Okay,
what we study in mathematics.
Mathematics.
Absolutely. Basically, to connect between algebra and equations. I think he brought in that the theory that's, and we have studied in school. Right? Same scientist, same philosopher, mathematician, brought in a technique called Cartesian questions. There are 4 questions. There are only 4 questions.
Okay.
Simple questions.
So what are these 4 questions? I'm pretty curious to know, what is this?
What are those 4 questions? 4 questions. Let's imagine there are 2 options. Option A, option B. So we need to make a choice between these 2. Imagine the situation like that.
Okay.
The 4 questions for option A are: what will happen if I do option A?
Okay.
What, I repeat, what will happen if I do option A? Second question, what will happen if I don't do option A?
Okay.
Third question, what will not happen if I do option A? Fourth question, what will not happen if I don't do option A? There is a double negation here. Can you see that? The first one is, what will happen when I do option A? What will not happen
If I
when I don't do option A? It's a fourth question. So it is something like a diametrically opposite. It seems similar,
right.
but they are not similar.
Okay.
They are quite different. That can confuse mind, and that's the beauty. Why? Because our brain has so many functions where thought process can kick in. The idea that Cartesian questions helps us to achieve is it lets us to think in 4 different angles, which seems to be like a 360-degree view.
Right.
Imagine there's a situation here. I'm viewing from this angle, I'm viewing from this angle, this angle, this angle. That situation, I'll be able to understand, analyze a lot more, which normally we are not able to see.
That's a beautiful thing, actually.
It's instead of looking into one-dimensional or two-dimensional, we are looking from the four perspectives here.
So the same situation, but we are looking from different angles. Now we are looking at in a different way.
Correct.
Maybe.
Correct. Absolutely. So that is what the Cartesian question enables us to understand about the option A. Right? Now, same 4 questions we can answer for option B.
Right. Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Through that, we are understanding option B from all angles or 4 angles. What happens through this is, we are using our ability, our cognitive processes to unearth certain things which you have not seen till then.
Right. Right.
Right? And all those, let's say we put it on a sheet of paper. That's what I do, and I ask my clients to do. Take a A4 size sheet of paper, make it 4 equal size quadrants, write these 4 questions on top, fill it up. Now look at one at a time. This question, answer it fully. This question, answer it fully. Don't think too much. Let it be brain dump. Don't think too much. Am I writing the proper thing? Whatever comes to your mind at that time, just put it out.
That instant thing.
Put it out. Write it. Write it on a sheet of paper like this. Same thing one can do for option B. Same, right? Now, with this, what happens is we have put our cognitive process in action for our advantage. And through this, a more objective evaluation of situation, option A, option B has happened now. Now, the chance of making a more informed choice has gone up or increased.
That is so beautiful. To be honest, I can see it in front of me. Like, I've not thought of a particular situation where I have to make decision, but looking at this way itself, imagining a situation, any random situation, and it's plain. and we're not able to decide what's going to happen. And now we have this 4 pathways towards one choice and 4 pathways towards other choice. We can pen that down. Once we write it down, it's more clear. It is so beautiful.
Yeah. I'll also give some, because some of the viewers may like to understand what is the magic here, or what happens here. When you look at the first question, what will happen when I do option A or when I choose option A? We are looking forward.
Okay.
So basically, when I choose option A, I'm moving forward. So that there's probably an excitement, or there's a fear also. Anything can happen, fear or excitement about that. But at least I become aware.
At least you're moving on.
Yeah, what happens? What will happen? So most of the times we think about that. Right? Now, let's look at second question.
Yeah.
What will happen when I don't choose option A? Our thought process kicks in to understand the consequence of not taking option A.
And which anyways we were not taking, but now we can reflect into.
Yeah, when I don't make that option A, what do I miss?
What do I miss?
What do I miss? What opportunities possibly I am missing it out? Right? Or what is the consequence of inaction for option A?
That's like a deep dive into introspection sort of.
One part of the brain kicks in at that time. See, we are using our brain, our senses are our friends. Right? I'm using my friends, my faculties, if I want to put it, faculties in action through, getting into action by asking this second question. Right? Third question also does the same thing, similar thing, not same thing.
Okay.
What will not happen when I choose option A?
Okay.
Right? What is the consequence of taking option A? There are certain consequences which I have not thought out of taking option A, which are probably hidden, are coming out now. What will not happen when I choose option A? Let's look into the fourth question.
No, this is pretty much confusing.
Yeah, this is confusing. Absolutely.
You know, okay.
When I did for the first time, when I did in 2019, when I got a job offer, I had only one option at that time, but I was not sure whether that's the right thing to choose or not. See, that's what I said earlier. Even one option also we can apply this. Right? So what I did is I prepared this. That's when I could clearly see what will not happen when I choose option A. I need to continue in the technologies where I have been working for long. I'm not getting exposure to a newer technology. But option A is giving that newer technology exposure to me. Right? So there are certain things which will come out when I look at what will not happen when I choose option A. Fourth question. See, the second and third questions are with respect to the option A.
Yes.
Now, the fourth question is quite interesting. This is what I see many of my clients find it hard. Natural. It's natural to feel hard to answer this. The fourth question is essentially forcing you to think, if you don't take action now, with respect to your choices,
and what will not happen?
Yeah, what is that you are missing out, or what would happen? See, let's say there are choices A and B. I can make choice A or choice B, or I don't want to make any choice.
Right.
Which means I want to continue as it is, status quo.
Is this not similar to something that what will happen if I don't choose A?
What will happen?
When I don't choose A, for example. That is also a same sort of situation?
Yeah, there's a difference here. The second question, the question what you asked, what will happen when I don't choose option A, is with respect to option A. Whereas, what will not happen when I don't choose option A, forcing us to think the status quo. I'm not making any choice. Neither choice A, choice B. Basically, if we maintain status quo, absolutely no action we take.
Okay.
I'm continuing. Let's say I'm in a job. I continue on same job. Though I have a couple of offers, I don't want to change. I don't want to continue in this job. Let's say this is like the status quo. Now, by taking status quo, what happens is what the fourth question is forcing us to think about. See, sometimes with the fear or with whatever reasons, we don't want to make any choice. Even that comes with some consequence. Are you understanding those consequences at this time when you are required to make a choice?
Right.
So what happens, Sahitya, is that when we think of too many things together, we naturally get confused. Our ability to think clearly diminishes. When we split it into multiple separate questions and look each one of them separately, our ability to think clearly on that question enhances.
And clarity is somewhere or other the most important thing in decision making.
Absolutely. You very well said. So that's what we are trying to achieve through this, right? To get more clarity.
And this can be used in any sort of situation you are in, maybe.
Absolutely. Right. See, you beautifully said. One of my clients, he said that he had a job offer. He was not sure whether he should take that offer. And after a coaching conversation, I asked him to do this exercise. And then he did that. He even sent me that. Picture. And then that one page, he sent me that. And later he called me, Sudarshan, what you have given me is a tool for my life.
Yeah.
He said that. He said, when you told in the session, I didn't realize this, but after this exercise, I could see that this is something I can apply in various situations in my life.
Absolutely.
And he said, I'll go ahead and share this with my wife. I said, do with whoever you want. It's yours. You created this learning for you. It's something you can take to anybody.
Absolutely. And to be honest, for the viewers, I think we can share this with a lot of people, because in each and everyone's life, I think we have to take important decisions. We have to come and this was like an eye opener for me. So I'm going to try this in situations where I'm stuck, because there are a lot of situations where you are stuck, isn't it? And I think this can help in the smallest and smallest situations and biggest of biggest situations.
And the beauty of this is, in both the situations when I had a job change, 2019 and 2021, in both situations I applied it for myself. The benefit I got through that is, I walked into both the jobs with full conviction.
Okay.
There is no doubt whatsoever in my mind whether I have made a right decision, because I have involved deeply in myself in charting out this method which has been there for ages, right? I applied this and then felt convinced that yes, the choice I am making is good for me.
Wow.
And then I went ahead. And naturally, I enjoyed the work, because there's no doubt in the back of my mind.
Absolutely. That is so important.
Absolutely.
That is so important. It is just like, you are getting onto the pitch, with full confidence.
Yes.
So you can hit for, you can score runs.
Correct.
So, this somewhere or the other conviction plays a huge role in your future as well, because your belief gives you positivity.
Yeah.
And if you go with doubt, that is what we do meditation, and we are like, if you have to visualize, you have to first take out all the fear and disbelief out of yourself, and think with a good vibe, and that will happen, that will manifest, and even the universe starts supporting you when you are going with a positive vibe, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. So we learned about decision making, the what approach that we should take, and how much can we get convinced, and with full belief, how can we go forward.
Yeah.
So now that we know about this particular thing, can this be applied with people who are at high stakes and who want decisions, who need to make decisions in lesser time, but
Absolutely.
bigger decisions?
Absolutely. And this is something I have seen happening too. I have seen CEOs have used Cartesian questions for the entire organization. The stake was very, very high. You can imagine the stake is very high. That consequence of making that choice has impact on the entire organization.
Right.
And he had to make that choice. And a coach helped the CEO to use Cartesian questions. What coach is doing here is coach is trying to hold a mirror.
Right.
Help the coachee to understand the situation more. And by providing that trusted space, for the coachee, where coachee can talk anything and everything.
True.
Because there is no inhibition at that time.
Yes.
They are able to unearth things which they are not able to do when they do by themselves separately.
True.
So, yeah, I think when it's hard to make such a assessment, it's perfectly fine to take help from a coach. The kind of clarity that coachee got through that was enormous.
Wow.
And finally, he said, I remember the conviction in his face. Yes, I made the choice now.
Yeah.
And it was probably an hour-long session, but the conviction with which he went ahead was visible in the facial expression.
That also gets me to thinking that it is not that easy how it looks to unveil this 4-quadrant, and sometimes you have to take a help of somebody, maybe a coach, maybe in your family if there are 4 members.
Absolutely.
Together you can work on it. You will get more ideas, you will get more pointers to write down.
Absolutely.
Maybe if you're in a team, in a company, you can, as you said, they worked together to get out of that.
Correct. You're right. See, sometimes asking these questions will make the team members to think. It can be even applied in technical scenarios too. Actually, yesterday I was thinking, if this kind of evaluation had happened, I don't know whether it happened or not, but I'm just with my limited understanding. If such a evaluation had happened in early 2000 by the company Kodak. Kodak was
the camera.
Kodak camera. I mean, they were world leaders,
right,
and well known for their camera reels before the digital era came into picture. Right? But they went bankrupt in a matter of few years. Right? Now, if they had questioned themselves in this 360-degree view, what will happen? Let's say they were world leaders making lot of business through camera rolls.
Right. At that point of time, I think we heard of only Kodak.
Yeah, Kodak. If somebody has asked internally this question, or their coach or whoever, they asked the question, what will happen if you get onto digital cameras, or what will not? With these 4 questions, they are asked and made them to think. Possibly they could have transitioned out of this analog to digital in a smooth way. Probably they would have continued.
Sure.
Probably. This is like on hindsight.
That's the magic. That's the power of this.
Yes. So, because otherwise, when we don't ask ourselves these hard 4 questions, we go in a direction which may not be aligned with the way the world changes. The world is changing, continuously changing. Are we changing in tandem with the world changes?
Yes.
Right? So these kinds of questions can help us to see that.
And today is about AI, right? A lot of people are thinking that our jobs will go, and all those things. And there's so much conversations about AI will rule or humans will rule. At the end, who will rule? Some people are like, things will change. Everything will become robotic. So at a place where, you know, if somebody is from who has lived more of 1990s, 1980s era, or maybe 2000, 2010, and they do not evolve, they do not change in terms of decision. I think that is also something that needs to be seen, right? And sometimes people are afraid of making a change. Yeah.
You brought a good point. I think this afraid could be due to lack of details.
And this
Sometimes
adaptation quotient
we need
acts
to
as a
get past
catalyst.
that afraid zone
Wow.
to, you know, a zone where I feel confident to go forward. Right?
Seriously, and it's just it won't take too much of time. It might take a time for you as well, but giving yourself that time and putting yourself in that situation will somewhere open up a lot of emotions. That is what I felt, you know, getting from if you're in confused state, you will go towards clarity. If you're afraid, you might be confident that, okay, I have these things now, pointers.
There's a very high chance that you will have clarity. Let's say even if you don't have clarity, you will have lot more full. Even if you don't have lot full clarity, you will be better off from where you are.
Amazingly put, you know.
Yeah.
Superb. Yeah, so I think I got a lot of insight, to be honest, and it opens our neural pathways. You know, you know, that is what you were talking about, the brain. So
Cognitive functions
Cognitive
of
functions,
brain
yeah.
will get actuated. Different parts of the cognitive brain will get actuated.
we're not using that.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is, we possess that, we have that, but we are not using that.
Superb. So I feel like a jadoo, you know, that sort of magic that has come somewhere or the other, which you can pen down and you can realize that, you know, where you are and where you can be. So we have dived into this particular thing, how to go about decision making and everything. Sometimes what happens is the intuition comes in between. So even there are so many prospects. Okay, that okay, this will happen, this will not happen. Right? I want to go with my gut feeling. I'll do it because of my passion or maybe my gut feeling. So at that point of time, should we delve into intuition part? Should we see this part? How is it?
Okay, so
Like a lot of people, I think
yeah.
this particular thing happens with people who are in who are passionate about the something they love to do, or maybe they have maybe a job and a business, you know, or something. So if emotionally, if I see that if you love somebody, you know, there's no rational sort of thinking. It's more of intuitional thing that you go with, right? So at that point of time,
Okay.
yeah.
So I think the question what you asked is fair. For me, intuition is not something coming out of nowhere. It is coming out of something which could be some experiences which I have gone through cumulatively, or something which I have heard, experienced. All the so many things are there together. That is coming to my support without me being aware of it.
Right.
I'm just looking at like that. Is that how you look into intuition?
Intuition is something wherein I can relate to what you said. It's also a vibe that it is you. Intuition is, I think, you with your experiences, with your vibe overall. And at the end of the day, you feel like that I don't need any sort of logic, you know. I will just go with my feeling because of my past experience or because who I am. I know that I am like this. I'll be doing better with this.
Okay.
And I'll be in a better state or satisfied state.
Okay.
Maybe if I do this.
Okay.
Even if the consequences go wrong, it is fine.
Okay.
So
Fantastic.
it is something that is going beyond logic.
Okay.
Because sometimes it is said that logic, you know, where there is no logic, there is magic.
Okay.
Isn't it? That is
Fair enough. So I'll just look at in this
no
context.
science actually, to be honest.
In this context, I look at this way. Let's say final stage is making a decision which is subjective. For that, we do all these things beforehand. Let's say we have done Cartesian questions as one of the techniques there. that also not given us full clarity, or given more clarity but not full clarity. Now I have to make a decision, right? Finally, I have to make it. Maybe I can go with my intuition at that time. That intuition is coming out of my experience, which includes this Cartesian questions application as well. Right? There's so many things have happened beforehand, including this, whatever I have done through this Cartesian questions. Even that is coming. I mean, basically, I'm making this intuitive call after that, right? So it's not going to, or I'll say, it's not likely to harm making intuition call, or will not change that intuition call. As you rightly said, finally, it's a satisfaction. Am I satisfied with the choice I have made? Am I going ahead with full conviction on the choice I have made? If you can make it after the intuitive call, yeah, you can go ahead.
Then finally we'll make it.
Yeah, it's completely, that's also probably a tool available for you. Means hearing your own gut feeling.
What I heard from you is go for the intuition after these 4 quadrants.
Yeah, that because you have done an objective evaluation through this approach. Possibly that gives you clarity. If not, you're definitely better off. I think you're not going to be worse than where you were an hour ago.
It's a much better state.
Better than where you were, and then make whatever subjective call. This is what I read. Colin Powell was the Secretary of State in the US during the era of Gulf War. Right? He mentioned once, he doesn't wait for 100% clarity to make a decision. Right? He thinks if he gets 70% clarity, he will make a decision and move on. Right? Now, what does 70% come? How does 70% come? Maybe through applying some techniques, which he uses for himself, which I don't know. I'm just imagining here. So if I were to look into that, 70% clarity can come to me through some application of techniques, even including intuition. Maybe I'll just ask myself, am I prepared enough to make a call, make a decision? If I see that convinced, I'll go ahead and there will be choices, and not only we make a choice, we own the choice.
Right.
So that if you look at Cartesian questions, all these intuitive things, ultimately we make a choice with the conviction, which means I own the choice. I'm not going to tell someone else made the choice.
Yes.
I made the choice for my life.
Yeah.
And consequences,
I'll bear it.
I own it.
Yes.
I bear it.
Yeah. True. Here again, the point comes that, if you're blaming yourself, or even though you're happy with what you decided, at the end of the day, you're satisfied, you're convinced, you went forward. Superb. So a lot of things are getting clearer as we are going towards, the end of the show, and a lot of questions that I have for you. Okay, so I have a few questions for you in terms of decision making. What if somebody has made a wrong decision? And what should a person be aware of before making a decision? Of course, we went through this particular process, we spoke about intuition, but what if somebody has made a wrong decision? Now, how can the person revive?
Okay, so what happens when a wrong decision is made?
Yeah, or if I can put it in this way, wherein, what are the few things that are important before we make a decision? In terms of something like ethics is important. Some things are there which should not be compromised in terms of decision making, however good or bad it is.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, the question what you asked, I'm just going back to the ethical model of decision making. Am I comfortable to
talk in front of anyone?
Yeah, if it comes tomorrow in in a newspaper. I'm comfortable with that. Right? Second one is, am I okay to suggest the same thing to someone else?
Right.
Right. Third is, do I think it is fair, or is it making justice to myself or for others?
I was thinking the same. Yeah.
Yeah. What it says is, if either of these three is no, probably the decision is not ethical.
And that's so important.
These three concepts were proposed by Stadler.
Okay.
This is what can help us to see before making finally a choice. Asking these questions, if at all there is a question on, am I making an ethical decision? One can look into from these three aspects. Also, in addition to whatever Cartesian questions, everything done,
Right.
then he can look into, am I making ethical decision? Right?
Right.
Now, that is one part. Now, I think your earlier question was,
Yes.
after making a decision,
if something
goes wrong. So there are few things that comes to my mind now. One is, there is no dead end in life. I mean, there's always course correction possible. Course correction, what it would be only in that situation one can see. For that course correction, one can take a professional help also. Let's say the course correction is associated with lot of emotions which had happened as a part of the consequence or whatever. Probably approaching a counselor or therapist can help to get more clarity, how to integrate what had happened in the current situation and to how to move forward. A counselor or therapist can help if it's too emotional, too difficult to deal with alone or with a close trusted friend or family member. Helping professional could be a person to go to.
Another question that I had is, what role does data and research play in decision making process in professional life or in business context? Or maybe how much time, or evolving with time, plays a role when it comes to decision making?
Okay, it's a great question actually. There are two aspects you have brought in. One is the role of data and analysis in decision making. Other one is the time factor.
Yeah.
Right? Let's look into these two separately.
Somewhere or the other, data also changes with time and research also.
Yeah, that's also fair. Good point. So I'm just looking into, for a moment I'm looking separately. Let's look at data and analysis. Definitely having validated data and analysis done in the right way, I mean, using the right algorithms that will give some abstract details out of the analysis. Raw data analysis will give some abstract details or some inputs which will add to the decision making. In the sense, based on that, my answers to these 4 questions, for example, may be different.
True.
Right? Now, that's one way of looking at it. So, to answer your question, yes, with more data, we are making more objective decision. Cartesian questions or other methods also trying to help to make more and more objective evaluation of the situations, which are choices here. So, in that sense, yes, definitely helpful. Now, with respect to time, can you tell more about what you mean by time here? I mean, over a period of time?
Evolving with time, as in somebody who has been a part of the journey in 2000 to 2010, okay, and now it is 2020, 2023. Maybe they're not aware of AI coming into picture, the technology coming in. So people have to evolve with time. In 2030, it will be a different scenario.
Okay.
So for example, anybody starting a new business, okay, there are a lot of startup companies in Bangalore. It's full of that, right? So they also need to know how much business they can generate in the next 7 years. How will people change? How will the market change with time? So how much does that?
I think you answered that already. I feel I'll try to put it in my perspective.
It can be in a family situation as well.
Yes, absolutely. See, I'll put it in this way. Let's say the choices A and B 10 years ago. If I do my Cartesian questions, I will have some answers there. Same choice and A and B in 2023, when I put it, it will be different.
Yes.
Very different. Because things have evolved now. At any point in time, it's like a snapshot now. At this time, for the choices in front of me, this is what is coming out. And I make a decision and move forward. So in that, I can consider 2 years horizon, 3 years horizon, 5 years horizon. It's again, I make that analysis when I answer the questions.
Right.
Okay, this, what do I say, what will happen when I do this? In 3 years time frame, my business will grow 3 times, maybe. Because in my current context, with the understanding of how things would be, I am calling that.
Right.
10 years ago, that would not have come into picture, or it would have been quite totally different. So as evolves, because change is happening around, that continuously happening, and with that, how we reinvent ourselves, or like, I'll not say reinvent, basically how we discover ourselves in this time, so that we are able to make a choice for future.
Got it, yes.
So yes. I can, 2 things comes to my mind. When I work in Cisco, I saw this. People used to say Cisco is fantastic in understanding the market change and adapting to it. Cisco did not have, I would say, hung up on a technology. They are willing to look into what technology changes we can adopt and keep moving forward.
Right.
Now, same thing I can, what it means is, with the changing times, perspectives are different. And the call what we will make will be different.
Absolutely.
So that definitely evolution with time has a bearing on decision making. Right? And it's important to keep re-evaluating it
Again,
periodically, like maybe once a year, once a 6 months, or how that whatever.
And that is how changes are made. I think adaptability factors, a lot of things, and you make decisions.
Absolutely.
Keep changing decisions.
Correct. Can I sniff the changes coming and then make the corrections?
Right.
In my career or my life, right? That's something is part of the intelligence.
Yes, absolutely. One last question, and this is something to do with adaptability, and just that you said that making changes quick time.
Yeah.
People are not able to change themselves or their thought process, or maybe they're not able to adapt, even though they know, okay, all the scenarios are like positive towards this particular thing. Everything should be right, but I'm not able to go towards it. So at that point of situation, what would you say the viewers? Okay, I have got all the formulas now. I know that, okay, I will go with my intuition or with the sports strategy. I have seen this 1 hour of video, but at the same time, I'm just not able to quickly adapt to a different situation. Having known that, okay, I will get a positive result here, but I'm not able to change my thought process. So anything, because there are emotional things come into factor.
Yeah, it's fair, and it can happen to anyone. If I want to put it can happen, because when you are deep into something, our ability to see the changes coming could be lesser. Let's say when you are deep into some activity or something, because we are so deep involved, what happens around, we may not be able to see that. Now, through various other things like reading or interactions with people of different walks of life, reading, all those things possibly one can do. One can get to see what changes are coming along the way. Participate in conferences, workshops, talking to people, being part of some chapters, some different, these kinds of like-minded people getting to. All through that, we will be able to see the changes coming in.
Right.
By the way, when I was telling this, I'm remembering the book "Who Moved My Cheese." There's a book, very thin book. That book is all about anticipating, preparing, and handling change in life.
Wow.
Beautiful book, actually. A very thin book by Spencer Johnson.
Yes.
One person who can help you in such a situation is you having your own coach. If you have a coach who holds that net, safety net for you, and also who holds the space for you to explore your journey, that's when you will be able to see what's happening around. You'll start, because here is somebody with whom you can talk anything and everything.
Right.
Because a coach will provide such a space.
Yes.
Right. So that could be helpful. A coach could be a person who offers service, or could be a good friend of you.
Support. It's just a support.
Could be a good friend of. I have one friend with whom I talk anything and everything.
Advice can go wrong.
He knows pretty much everything. I don't need to even think about what I'm saying.
As we were discussing the other day, I think I remember that sometimes we take decisions from our relatives or friends, or somebody who's not an expert. So it is somewhere said that you should seek an advice from an expert, if at all it's a professional thing, or maybe a friend can help you in your personal life. But at the end of the day, it's you who are going to make the decision.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. Because see, the decision what I take is for my life. Right? And decision, if somebody decides, they are taking a decision based on their perspective. They may think it's good for me, but is that so for me? Only I know it.
Right.
So hence it's perfectly fine to take inputs from different sources, reliable sources, but the decision has to be mine.
Yes.
And I own that, and I will go ahead with that conviction and own that. Towards that, all these things what you discuss, like Cartesian questions, listening to your intuition, talking to a coach, or all this will help in that direction. But the decision is mine at the end of the day, and I own the consequences, and I learn from it and move on, and make a better decision in future.
Great, and thank you for making such a beautiful decision to come on our show. And I'm pretty much, it's our pleasure to have you and learn so much. And this will help not only people who are in the software, people who are in IT sector. This will also help entrepreneurs. It's going to help women out there, relationship choices, and every sector, because we need to make decisions in day-to-day lives.
Absolutely, absolutely. Choices. All of us make choices throughout our life at different junctures of different degree of consequences for our life. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. And if you wish to ask anything, you can write down in the comment section. If you have any sort of queries, we will dive deeper into it. And hope this was pretty much helpful for all of you. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and share it with people who you think should listen to this. Till then, take care of yourself, keep moving, keep healing, and if you wish to join our sessions, fitness sessions, of course, everything is written in the description box. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Said.
So what are these 4 questions? I'm pretty curious to know what is this.
So you want to start with?
Yeah. So, no, this was natural actually.
Okay.